Here we go then. Right, hello everyone and welcome to the TubeMix YouTube channel. And yeah, it's great to be back with another video. And for the first time in 4 years, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ben Moss is back.
Hello, everybody.
You see, I had to give you a build up. You know, you're back after 4 years, so.
Oh, don't build me up too much. I don't want to regenerate. I don't want to go.
So, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Oh, it's good. It's good to have you back. I didn't think we'd get you back on the channel, but no. Hopefully, this is the first of many videos that to have you back. Because yeah, I've missed you.
I've missed being here myself. It's it's a pleasure to be back, and what a time to be back as well. With Power of the Doctor one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So first of all, what were your thoughts on the Power of the Doctor then?
I'm going to be honest. I think it is the best regeneration episode we've had since the revival.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, isn't it? That's a big statement.
Yeah, but I thoroughly stand by it. Obviously, we're going to go into this a bit more, but
yeah,
I just think it's the most feeling like a classic Doctor Who regeneration, a proper regeneration. No big build up. It's just an adventure. Our Doctor sadly just didn't make it through this time.
Exactly, yeah, because of course we have to remember, and I've said this in my Instagram live, that in the classic series, the regeneration, although the papers we knew whoever playing the Doctor was leaving, the regeneration, it was treated as quite a low key thing, which is hard to imagine when, of course, the regeneration nowadays tends to be treated as it is the big event.
And I've got to admit, I've been getting quite bored of the whole big event thing.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit bored of the that there has to be a prophecy, and it does seem like it's treading over old ground a bit.
So kudos to Power of the Doctor for not doing that for a change. I think it's the most in keeping with the mythos, and we got a Doctor who went out on a smile and looking forward to seeing what happens next. And
yeah, did you not think, because obviously Jodie, the 13th Doctor, got that warning, beware of the forces in your master, did that not make that prophecy though come true though?
It seems that Chibnall even forgot about that prophecy, so I think I can ignore it for this episode at least. But yeah, no, it kind of was a prophecy.
Chibnall seems to have the smallest brain possible, as we'll find out.
Yeah, no, I mean, the benefit of this episode is it's great to watch in a small vacuum, because he pretty much forgets everything he's set up, which is kind of a bad thing, but makes it a good special to watch.
Yes,
on its own, because it's not connected to the Timeless Child. It's not connected really to any of the other plots.
No,
it's just a celebration.
Yes,
and I think that's why it's the best.
Really. I mean, it would work as a Christmas special, wouldn't it, in that Christmas Day slot, you know?
And considering how long we've got to wait till
November 2023, yeah.
I mean, we've got 3 specials over November, so I am going to guess the first one's going to be early November.
Well, yeah, I'm not quite sure, because that's going to be strange to me. In the same month, we're getting 3 specials, so not spread across, you know, that. Yeah, that's a bit strange to me. But
I thought we would at least get an Easter special.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, who knows? Maybe Russell has some tricks up his sleeve. But of course, before we get to that, we've got to get through Power of the Doctor. So, do you want to start where the episode starts?
Yeah, on the train with the Cybermasters attacking.
Very poetic, of course, because in The Woman Fell to Earth, people recall that the 13th Doctor fell and somehow managed to escape any injuries by falling onto a train.
the wonders of the first 24 hours of regeneration. You can grow back a limb, and apparently you can land in a train.
Yes,
Who
well,
knew?
I said on my Instagram live, I record the chopping of the hand off and the in regrowing his hand back. Yeah, so yes, it's as you said, it starts off the train, and this I'm not really quite sure who these people were. They didn't really mention who they were. I was a little. They just forgot about them, didn't they? They weren't there for very long.
I think if there's any fault in the episode, it is the opener. Sadly, it's very good energy, but I mean, it pretty much just is there as an excuse to get rid of Dan. Let's face it, that's all the opener is there for. It's just an excuse to. It's just an excuse to save Dan.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, what one of the guys knows about regeneration somehow, which I thought, right, so who are these? Are you going to bother to explain who these people are then? Or
I mean, that's one thing that definitely worried me very early on, that, oh god, it's going to be Timeless Child related, considering, all of a sudden there's a little girl being hidden away, and they know about regeneration. Like, no, don't tell me these are Time Lords. Don't go with the Vision. Don't do that again. Luckily, it wasn't.
No, they just seem to be a pair of nobodies, really.
I would suggest that the only thing I could think of is there's something to do with Vinder's.
Oh, yes, it could be,
second
yeah.
it got stolen, Vinder then came back to come after the... Well, what we'll explain the child is in a minute.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
Vinder comes in to collect it. So
yes.
I'm going to guess it's something to do with Vinder.
And no, I've been very vocal about. I like John Bishop. I've seen bits of him. It's comedy. I've seen him often presenting the Sport Relief and Comic Relief telethons. I do like John Bishop. He does seem like a lovely guy, but he never added anything for me. And
I am a huge fan of John Bishop. I've followed his career since he started in comedy.
Yeah.
I love him, but no. I think Series 13 would have worked fine if it was just the Doctor and Yaz.
Yeah, he didn't add anything, did he? And to be honest, Dan's early exit made me think of, well, this is Chibnall's problem. He didn't even know what to do with Dan. So this just... Yeah. It's like I don't know whether it was due to John's other commitments, whether he had to exit early, or whether he just... There was so much going on that he thought, oh dear, I've digging myself into a hole here. Right.
I mean, I know John Bishop did start up a tour while near the end of his filming, so I'm going to guess it's something to do with his comedy.
Yeah, well, it could be. And of course, that's the disadvantage of getting a comedian. And I was saying to my mum that, I wish the next companion, please cast an actual actor, not a comedian, because otherwise we're going to have this problem again.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, it's a publicity stunt. That's why you cast someone like John Bishop. It's someone people in the UK are going to know.
Oh, yes, and I get that, but I can't unsee him for being John Bishop. That was the problem.
Yeah, they should have just called him John instead of Dan. They really should have. He's playing John.
He is, basically, yeah. If John Bishop went for travels in the TARDIS, that's who Dan is, basically.
Pretty much. So yeah, definitely. Although, that being said, I did like the exit. I think it was nice that, it's been a while. I think it's not since Martha we've had someone just walk out the TARDIS going, it's not for me anymore.
Yeah, since Martha's exit, yeah.
And for very similar reasons, you're too dangerous. I can't do this anymore.
Yes.
And, that's exactly what Dan did. And it was nice to see that again.
Yes, because Dan, of course, he nearly got suffocated. So I don't blame him for deciding to pack it up.
Absolutely.
And yes, so they say quick goodbye to Dan. The Doctor, of course, doesn't say much because, of course, she doesn't like goodbyes.
Yeah.
So yeah, off Dan goes, and then the Doctor and Yaz they head to unit, don't they?
We're forgetting a scene. We're forgetting a scene because while Dan's saying goodbye, the Doctor gets a message from a familiar foe.
Oh yes, of course. Oh yes, the Master. Yes, so there's so much going on in this episode. It is hard to forget. It's hard to remember. It's hard to remember all the stuff. So I'm glad I've got you. Glad I've got you here.
From a Dalek. Yeah, from another good Dalek.
Oh yes, and I was and people may recall Rusty, of course, but it seems Chibnall has forgot about that as well. And I was like, "What? Hello, Rusty."
I see what people are saying. If I can interject though something into the internet, which I don't think many people are talking about, is that yes, it's not the first time we've had a good Dalek, but it is the first time we've had a Dalek turn good of their own reasoning, for their own...
oh, yes, because Rusty was mentally ill, wasn't he, basically?
Yep. And so was the Dalek in Dalek, contaminated by Rose.
Oh, yes, sorry, yes. I've forgotten about that, yeah.
Yeah, this is the first time a Dalek who is really a Dalek, not contaminated, chose to betray their own kind.
Yes, which was extraordinary, wasn't it? Yeah, and I'll tell you, the scene of the Dalek getting... well, I know I'm jumping too forward, I guess, here, but, well, I suppose it could go forwards and backwards. It is time travel anyway.
Timey-wimey.
The Daleks exterminating their own was a very powerful scene, I thought, and extraordinary.
Yeah. And poor Dalek went out with a splat. Ew.
Oh yeah. Right. So after the it's revealed the Master is in Russia as Rasputin. He is in the paintings, yeah. And of course we see the return of Sophie Aldred as Ace, and yes, who is pretty good to see that. And Tegan, who I can't say I was so enthusiastic to see her back, but
yeah, no, I'm a big fan of the Fifth Doctor's period and the Seventh. So with those two characters,
I do. I do like Davidson. I just Tegan's too mouthy for me. It's the same with Donna. I'm just not such a big fan of her, really.
Yeah. Although I mean, for me personally, I kind of like the mouthy companions because the Doctor doesn't know what to do with them, and even in this one, Jodie has no idea what to say to her half the time. Like, yeah.
No.
I kind of like companions who can do that to the Doctor, where they're the most intelligent person in the room, but they have no words.
Yes. So Ace notices the paintings are missing, which I must admit, when I heard about the paintings in the previews, I thought, oh, is this going to be... I thought they'd mentioned the Gallifrey Falls painting, Gallifrey Falls No More painting being missing, and I thought this would somehow connect to the Day of the Doctor. Nope, nothing about that at all. Either Chibnall's forgotten about that, and oh my god, no hope. But yes, so that's very interesting. The paintings are stolen, and the Doctor and Yaz get a distress call from Kate Stewart, Gemma Redgrave, who finally gets something more to do than a brief role in Flux, which I suppose we can forgive if it, it's building up to this. So, of course, we didn't know that at the time, but I suppose Kate's smaller role, doing basically nothing in her episodes, yet it's forgiven to have a big role in this.
Yeah, no, and in the celebration of Doctor Who, you got to have a Lethbridge Stewart there, haven't you?
Yes, I mean, Gemma Redgrave, and I couldn't help not think of the late Nicholas Courtney, especially, with the BBC's 100th, and looking past at Doctor Who, I thought of him, and the wonderful Liz Sladen, the much missed Liz Sladen, who I feel, if she would have been around, I feel she would have been definitely in this episode, I feel.
There would have been a tie-in with the Sarah Jane Adventures and everything if
I mean, it was just a fantastic. I was saying in my Instagram live, it was such a golden era for the darkness. You've got Torchwood for the dark and gritty. For the kids, you have the Sarah Jane Adventures, and that when Doctor Who wasn't on, the Sarah Jane Adventures was on. When the Sarah Jane Adventures wasn't on, Torchwood was on. There basically was generally always something. Generally, it was such a good golden era.
They tried again with the spin-off Class.
Yeah, they did, and I watched the first episode. I didn't think it was particularly great, really.
It's one of those things again that Big Finish has come back and gone, we'll have you, and it works again. Class works now, but
yes, exactly. Yeah, in fact, I saw in my Doctor magazine advertise a new Class audio drama. So they're still continuing with that, and obviously they feel that the BBC's decision to exit was wrong. Right, so do you want to pick us back to part of the Doctor then?
While they're looking at the pictures, they get a message from the Master.
Yeah.
After a not so nice reunion with Ace and Tegan, both of them seem to have some left on not the greatest of terms.
Yeah.
In fact, that's definitely near the end. They get a message from the Master. This is not the Rasputin version, though. It is more looking like the Master we know, and is in Naples.
Yeah, he's lecturing somewhere, isn't he? I think. Yeah,
he's lecturing in Naples to do with something is going wrong with the Earth's volcanoes, and
which is when I thought, oh, we're not going to get another lecture, are we? So often in the Chibnall episodes, I did fear that, but no, it turned out to be not that
short by literally shrinking and compressing everyone there, as he does. And we get this is the first time we start to get the Master really starting to get into the Doctor's head.
Yes.
By saying, this is not just the day you die.
This is the day you're erased, basically. So, yeah, taunting his enemy as he always likes to do. And yeah, so the Master is arrested and taken to unit. And we get
the Master is reunited with Ace and Tegan.
Oh yes, he calls Ace Dorothy. Yes, and so yes, it's nice for him to see. He gets excitement seeing Tegan and Ace again, and he taunts Kate with saying her father was an idiot. Which I'm surprised she didn't want to punch him for that.
I did think there was going to be a slap there at some point. I definitely did.
Talking of punching, which is not something you obviously usually hear, but I read, did the Brigadier punch the Master in the Five Doctors? Did he?
He definitely at some point did. Yeah, that does ring about. I think it was the Five Doctors actually.
Oh right, okay, right. Yeah.
If not, it was before. I know definitely Briggs did clock him one at some point. I remember the clip. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Oh yes, well you don't mess with Sir Alistair, do you? I mean, Nicholas Courtney is so fantastic. Again, if he'd still been around, I'm sure he would have been up for this one as well, I think.
Absolutely.
So yes, anyway, so the Master's taken to his cell, and he and then he talks to Ace and Tegan from his cell, tells him about the tissue compression eliminator, and it could reverse. Now I was confused by this bit because he was still chained up by this bit. How did that manage to grow back? Did he do it telepathically?
Either that or it's on a timer, and because the whole thing, he's calculating this as one big plan.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
So either he purposely set it to go off at that time because he knew it would, or convenience. It's Gibnall. It's one or the other.
Yeah, because
but
yet again, there was no explanation for that. It seemed it was quite a theme, unfortunately. No explanations and just all go. But yeah, never mind. So Ashad is back as a clone. Patrick O'Kane, I have to say, gives such a great menacing performance as Ashad. One of the few positives I think of Chibnall's it was Ashad was just such a great character, just showing no mercy at all. Just the way he just pushed, people out the way.
An actual face to the Cybermen.
Yes,
was a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So yeah, do you want to pick up?
So as Cybermen want to do, they start taking over and trying to find some flesh to improve their army, as the Cybermen are want to do. And Kate starts to activate a lockdown procedure on the building to make sure the Cybermen don't get out into the rest of the planet. During this, we find that Ace has hidden in the floorboards her old baseball bat, her
oh yes, yeah,
her Nitro 999, and her old Ace jacket, which definitely made me very happy.
Yes, and I'll just give a fun fact. It's not a recreation. That is the original jacket. In fact, so much that the badges, they had to be glued on because they kept falling off. I read that. It's a great interview with Sophie in my Doctor Who magazine which made me laugh. Just them gluing all the badges because they just kept falling off. Because obviously, they're so old that they probably are nearly falling off. So
I believe as well. If it's not the same bat, they used Sophie's actual bat she had from Remembrance and did a copy of it for the filming. It's either the original or a copy of. I don't
know about that, but anyway, carry on.
And she also brings out some parachutes with the intention for her and Tegan to jump off the roof while Kate buries the Cybermen underneath the building.
Yeah.
At the last minute, Tegan decides to stay because she feels that she's the one responsible. And with her own personal connection to the Cybermen, I think she also wants a little bit of revenge.
Yes.
And leaves Ace there on the top of the roof.
Yep.
Next we have trying to remember all this.
It's a very busy 90 minutes. A lot happens, so yeah, it's.
Yeah, it does. Then the Doctor and Yaz go to the interior of a volcano where somehow they don't melt.
Yes, that was very bizarre, really. Yeah,
you can see lava, yet they're all fine. Not even a drip of sweat. That's impressive.
Yep. Oh, it's fine. It's nothing but flesh wounds, to quote Monty Python.
And they meet up with the traitor of the Daleks, who contacted her in the beginning, and willingly starts letting the Doctor take the information that the traitor has found to wipe out the Daleks. But this, unfortunately, of course, does not go to plan.
No.
And more Daleks come in, and as we mentioned earlier, exterminate their own Dalek in I've got to admit, pretty brutal fashion. I mean, I know Daleks are always brutal, but yeah,
Yeah, to exterminate one of their own is extraordinary, really. Yeah. I mean, I know Rusty obviously destroyed loads of the Daleks into the Dalek, but yeah, it was still a very extraordinary scene, and obviously the backdrop of the volcano. You know, the Daleks and the volcano. It was. I'll tell you what, the visual effects team. That was definitely one of the positives. I mean, Chibnall said, and the visual effects team said, this is the most they've ever done, and goodness me, there were some good shots in this.
I mean, the whole special is probably the best looking thing we've had in Doctor Who ever. I will say that. The CGI and visual effects have been incredible. And quite right too for the Doctor's final outing. But anyway, that does, after splatting their own kind, quite literally, they command the Doctor to step into the casing of the Dalek they just destroyed. With that said, the tentacles, the wires, the creature, the wires in the casing wrap around her and pull her in, and they are teleported away, leaving Yaz in a volcano next to the stars. Not the best of days. We hand it back over to you.
Right, thank you. So the Doctor is teleported to where the Master as Rasputin in Russia, and basically he, after dancing to Boney M's 70s classic disco hit Rasputin, which I thought, am I watching some fan edit here, some YouTube? Because it just seemed, what am I watching here? This is very surreal. I thought, am I imagining this? Is this happening? You should have heard me laughing so loud. I'm surprised my parents didn't tell me to shut my cake hole. So yeah. Anyway, and after that, the Master gets the Doctor into this chamber cube to force regenerate her into him. Yes, it's as strange as it sounds. So, and then Jodie's Doctor regenerates into him. That was a very strange, sweet. Put your teeth back in. Well, a strange sequence, wasn't it? It was very surreal. That.
I definitely did not expect that to.
No, because I thought when he meant forced regeneration, I thought the Doctor would degenerate, so to erase the Doctor, so not to literally erase the Doctor, as in to go back through her lives and then for her to just completely, be dead, if you like.
I'm gonna pause it here. I am gonna be curious to see if Russell does kind of a Stephen Moffat when we get back to how many lives the Doctor's had, because technically she did regenerate. She was forced to regenerate.
Oh yes. Oh no! Don't even go there. We talked.
Does that count as another life?
Oh no! We talked about the headache of the time the Doctor. No, I don't think I can cope with that headache.
I am going to be intrigued what Russell does with that, because it is technically a regeneration.
Oh yeah, no, it's hurting my head just the thought. Yeah. Anyway, so we see Sasha Doan, who played the Master, in wearing Jodie's garb, which is very funny to see.
He suits it well.
Yeah, no, it does. And now there was rumours that the Doctor would wear bits of, her old the old Incarnation's clothes, which I thought, this seems like a bit of a gimmick to me. And I thought, but. Well, if it's the Doctor reversing through her lives and sort of degenerating, I could get it, but no, I was correct. It was a bit of a gimmick to me, I will admit. As good as it was to see the scarf and the hideous question mark, I absolutely detest that jumper. Just, ugh.
Yeah, I think it could have been a little bit more subtle. Like he puts his hand into the pocket and he pulls out the recorder and still plays the recorder.
I just a dirty thought somewhere because it just looked so weird where he pulled the recorder from. I'm so sorry. That's is going to affect what you. But
I'm not going to look back at that episode in the same way now.
No, I know. I'm sorry, but. He plays the recorder, which people will know, obviously made famous by Patrick Troughton's Second Doctor, and plays the Skyboat song, which apparently was the song that he played on the recorder. I couldn't tell that, even though I do know that from Des O'Connor and Roger Whittaker doing it on Top of the Pops in the 80s. But yes, so after that, Yaz basically chucks the Master Doctor. It's whatever you call, because technically he is the Doctor, but
the Doctor Master Doctor thing.
It's worse than the Doctor Donner. At least that's fine. But basically she chucks him out and leaves him in the volcano place. And what happens next? Could you pick it up on the...
Oh, I'm more than happy to pick it up at this point.
Oh, thank you.
So the Doctor is kind of at this point in, I'd say, a kind of limbo.
Yes. Sorry, yeah, how could I forget? Yes, I wasn't sure whether this was her heaven or whether this was in her mind. It wasn't really very clear.
It is sort of stated, this is the point at which they cross every time they're on the way to regeneration. From one life to the next, they sort of cross this, what they call an edge.
It was very deep, wasn't it? I thought, whoa, this is... I don't do deep thinking, but God, this is deep for Doctor Who, this is.
And it makes sense why we've never seen it before, because, well, there's never been anything that's been trying to stop them regenerating, the Master becoming the Doctor.
No. Yeah.
So it's a perfect excuse for someone to appear to remind her of how much they need to fight back against.
Yes, or certain, not just one, but a couple of familiar faces.
We'll get to that, because of course the first face we see is the first incarnation, played once again amazingly by David Bradley. And
at least he's getting to redeem himself after Twice Upon a Time.
I mean, I liked him in Twice Upon a Time. He was a bit redundant, but I still think he did a great performance.
To be fair, it was the writing with Moffat, implying that the first Doctor was sexist when he wasn't, because of the 60s views, but...
I mean, that's an argument for another day. We can do another review if you want about Twice Upon a Time. I have very mixed views. But the one thing I do stand by is David Bradley was amazing.
He was. He was definitely very good, yes.
And to see him once again as the first Doctor, and then he suddenly his face changes and it's Colin Baker. We have the old 60 back again, being the pompous person that he always is, going, "Oh, we can't lose to them," which is amazing.
Yes, no, it was great to see them back, and I kept thinking, well, he should have wore the robes instead of that hideous coat and cap badge.
Then we see, after that we get to see Peter Davison.
Oh yes.
And then the one that got me going like an absolute fangirl was I got to see Paul McGann.
Yeah, I was like, "Whee! Yeah, he's back."
Yeah, Paul McGann, for people who don't know, was my first Doctor, so to see him again is
yes,
amazing.
And of course, really, for him, this is only his third on-screen appearance, because although obviously doing loads of audios, remember he only did the TV movie, which was well, he was good. The movie was iffy, but and then
He was the best bit of it.
and then the Night of the Doctor, which he was so brilliant. Despite that being only 7 minutes, he was so good in that.
Yeah, I mean, the irony being, because of the audios he's done, he is the longest serving Doctor of them all.
It's strange, isn't it? Yeah.
He's got the longest tenure.
Yeah. Despite only doing 3 episodes on screen, so yeah, it's a strange one.
And we get a lovely bit of banter when the 7th Doctor appears, Sylvester McCoy, and has a little bit of banter with the 8th, which no, there's always one.
Yes, well, I think Sylvester and Paul they do. Anyone who's seen the 5-ish Doctors, the spoof, they do really work well together. Colin and Peter and Sylvester and Paul, they really do work really well together. I tell you what was a surprise though, not to see Tom Baker in that sequence.
I think that's to do with his age and his health. I think. I don't know for certain, but I know people would be thinking, well, he's doing loads of Big Finish stuff. I think those are a lot of backlog. I think they did a big recording thing with him in like.
Oh, of course, yes, because he's recording loads. Yeah.
I think it's been like in 2020 they recorded a load with him, to the point where the next like 2 years aren't actually being recorded at the minute. They were recorded in like 2020.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know. Obviously, none of us do. But I think I've heard stuff like he's not great with health at the minute.
Right.
He's not where he was in 2013.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well. At least we got him. At least we got him as the curator at the end of the 50th.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I suppose he didn't. Whether Colin famously wasn't particularly very happy that only Tom got invited back and they didn't, so it kind of made up for them.
Yeah, definitely. I will admit, seeing all these Doctors again, for me, and we'll get to the scenes just coming after this very, very soon. For me, seeing these Doctors again and seeing where these Doctors are going to be again in a moment, for me, I think this is more of a celebration for me.
Yes.
Day of the Doctor ever was. I think this is more of a celebration than Day of the Doctor.
Yes, because the Day of the Doctor, I mean, the thing about it's amazing the throwaway line about him getting married to Elizabeth first and then actually doing that, which I thought, well, yeah, okay, I didn't think that's where they would go with the 50th, but because it's good as a throwaway line, but it's probably the one mixed thing that I don't think needed to be done, really.
I agree. I think I do think that the other Doctors should have been probably more in the 50th. I think, especially considering wasn't. I'm just going to say this. I think they'd only had a couple more episodes after. I think it was in Series 8 where they hit 100 episodes of the revival. So I think if you were going to have all the old Doctors like David Tennant, possibly Eccleston, I know he wouldn't have done. But, just I think
hypothetically,
I think doing it for the whole 100 episodes of the revival would have been better to do a Day of the Doctor, because I do think that this is more aligned what they should have done, which is get.
Yes, I was thinking that it did. This seems better than the Day of the Doctor, even though the Day of the Doctor, had that great moment with them all saving Gallifrey, which
all 13.
Yeah, exactly. But I did think this episode was actually felt more worthy of an anniversary than the Day of the Doctor, really.
Absolutely. And then after this, we cut to the TARDIS, where we find out that throughout the episode, the Doctor has touched people on the shoulder and with what seems like static electricity, but actually it was a Does seem a bit weird, this, but we'll go with it. It's an implant which lets them see a hologram of the Doctor.
Oh,
Um,
yes, it does seem a bit weird. Yeah, if it had
yeah.
been if it's been Artron energy, I mean, people may remember that, of course, Clyde, and it's funny how that, such a small part of the wedding of Sarah Jane Smith became very useful. And I said this in the Instagram live, Russell is so good at tying everything together, making it all fit.
And when you're doing 3 shows at once, that is no that's no small task, is it?
No, exactly. It's very difficult, but he is really, really good at that. So it'd be great to see how he does that. So yes, so obviously they could all see a hologram of the Doctor from that.
But not just Jodie's, because what happens with Tegan?
Yes, she sees Peter Davison's Fifth Doctor again, and he says the line. I did wonder whether we'd hear Braveheart. In fact, I thought Tegan would actually say it to the Doctor if she was worried about the regeneration. I thought she'd say Braveheart, Doctor. I was actually. I'm not a gambler, but I would have put my money on that. But no, it was.
And you'd have lost that money.
Well, yeah, I know. When the fun stop. Anyway, where the Fifth Doctor says Braveheart, and a lovely moment, especially mentioning Adric, of course, who people may recall just because, of course, so much has happened since then. I'll just briefly recall. So Adric sacrificed himself to stop the Cybermen, funnily enough. And it was a big moment because the credits, I believe, were silent. It really was such a big moment.
It was the first companion death, really.
Pretty much, yes. I mean, obviously, Sarah Kingdom, I suppose, and Katarina. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though they were killed off, Adric, because of the really tragic nature of it. It was quite a big event. I think so.
It was the first monumental big loss that the Doctor took since really Sarah Jane left, which was also felt as a loss.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, so that was lovely as well, and I did wonder if Matthew Waterhouse would be back as Adric. Well, even though he's brown bread, but and Sarah Sutton is Nissa, but no, not returns for them. But yeah, lovely moment to see. Always good to see Peter Davison back in his old garb and his celery as well. Yeah.
Oh God. Well, yeah. Well done, JNT.
Yes, Doctor in the 80s, a strange thing it was. And of course, later we have Ace having a moment with Sylvester's McCoy's Seventh Doctor as well,
which is a big moment because we've now found out how Ace left the TARDIS, because we've never known that.
Yes, because the series was cancelled, as you know, in 1989, and when the 1996 TV movie, Ace was nowhere to be seen. Whether she was just forgot about or whether... I know 96, that was the year when Sophie was very busy with kids' TV, doing a lot of that, so probably she wouldn't have been available. But yes, we find out why Ace left, which is finally good to close the book on that after so many years, but better late than never.
Yeah, and I loved I love that they closed also the book on the of Sylvester McCoy's character, which, Ace would never call them the Doctor, really. It would be the Professor.
Oh yes, I still find that annoying, to be honest. That's the one annoying thing about calling him / her Professor, but oh well.
I mean, Yeah, but I do think that that was nice because they don't always call him the Doctor. I always saw them very much. Sylvester McCoy was very much a parent figure to
Yes.
Ace, and how they used that was, with like all children leave leave the nest, and the joy is to watch. Or the joy of a parent is to watch them fly.
Oh
I
yes, oh
love
yes,
that
such a
line.
great line, isn't it? Yeah.
And we're not just good, we're Ace.
Yes,
Uh,
that did make me cringe, but it was a good line. Yeah, I will admit.
I've got to admit that was the moment in it is one of those moments in the special that will either be like Will here and make you cringe, but for me, I've got to admit that nearly brought a tear to my eye. I was like,
Yeah,
yep,
to be honest, I think Sylvester's funny as a person. I've never liked his Doctor, I will admit, but as a kids TV nerd, I mean, people might remember that Sylvester McCoy, funnily enough, started his career on Vision On with the great Tony Hart, and also on Tis was when he would dress up as a werewolf and terrorise the audience. Which, funnily enough, another Who connection, Sir Lenny Henry started his career on Tis was, and who
yep.
would be in Spyfall. So.
And we all thought he was going to return for this episode, and he didn't.
Yes, I mean, yes, I thought his character was going to come back, but no, obviously not. But yeah, anyway, continue on.
So after we get that lovely send off for Sylvester and Sophie, Ace and Seven, they now know the plan. Or at least Ace has a rough idea of the
Yes.
plan, which is essentially whack a load of Daleks, which she will definitely do that in a moment.
Yep.
However, suddenly Vinder arrives through a wormhole because reasons.
Yes. Again, no explanation, but Vinder is back.
I mean,
Without Bell and with stupid pet thing, thankfully are not back.
I mean, I think fair enough to a degree. It's like Russell T Davies having Jack at a bar and meeting Alonso because reasons. I don't mind Vinder being there because it is.
Oh yeah, but
Signal's excuse.
yeah. To be fair enough, though, that was the 10th Doctor's gift to him, wasn't it? Though he was doing his farewell tour.
Yeah.
I see that as generally a final gift in case he didn't see him again.
Yeah, I mean, I see it in the same vein. Although it's not a gift, it's the sense of the writer just going, "Here's my character. I want him back."
Well, yes, I mean, a lot of people, it's funny, they still complain about that farewell tour, saying it's self-indulgent and so long. And
he did the job for 4 years straight, doing two different.
Yes, I
spin-offs.
think people need to remember, it wasn't just David leaving, it was Julie Gardner, it was Russell T, it was that production team. And those characters, it was, it's not necessarily a guarantee for those characters to be back again.
We didn't think Donna would be back. We didn't think Wilf would be back. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we thought because a new production
thought.
team, new ideas, new characters. It doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna continue what the previous showrunner. So no, it made sense to me. I mean, the biggest one for me from that farewell tour was Elizabeth Slater's Sarah Jane Smith with a smile, but a tear in her eye, because most of the Doctor's friends didn't know necessarily. Well, maybe Jack could, maybe most of them could have figured it out, but Sarah Jane knew because, of course, she'd seen, she knew about regeneration.
Oh, here we go again.
Oh yes, it's just such a wonderful scene, and she doesn't say much, but it's an example of less is more, and Liz Sladen just we do miss her, how wonderful she was, and I'm so glad that when she was around, we got The Stolen Earth and Journey's End, and they really did make the most of her, and she got to come back for.
And talking of Stolen Earth and Journey's End, there's a bit near the end here which very
exactly. I was having flashbacks to that. Yeah. So right. Yeah. Anyway, continue on.
So continuing on, with Vinda back, Yaz, who, if we remember back to Revolution of the Daleks, who made loads of notes all over the
console,
over the console, figuring out what each bit does. One bit of really nice continuity is she brings that book back and starts sticking all the post-it notes she made on the TARDIS to try and figure out how to fly it. And indeed,
it makes sense now, because I was confused how Yaz could. Again, there was so much going on. I don't blame if any of you, missed anything, because.
I don't blame anyone either. It's only sad people like me who literally watched all the episodes leading up to this one.
Well, yeah, we're true. We're nerds, aren't we? Unashamedly.
Yeah. And I've got to admit, rewatching all of that up to Power of the Doctor with Chibnall has been a bloody task. Sorry. But yeah, no, that's how I knew about what she was doing, because
right, okay, right, that makes sense. Thanks for clearing that up, because I was confused. How's she able to fly the TARDIS now?
Yep, it comes from Revolution.
Right, okay, right.
And she, after a couple of groans of the TARDIS, and as we all know, let's face it, she's not really flying the TARDIS. The Doctor doesn't fly the TARDIS. You reason with her.
Well, yes, exactly, yeah.
Yep. The TARDIS flies itself, let's all face it.
Yes.
The Doctor doesn't really do anything.
No.
And the TARDIS takes Yaz to Vinda. And they come up with a little plan to get back at the Master. Arriving back on the planetoid overwatching the cyber world attacking Earth.
Thing, yeah.
As you do. Yaz comes back to the Master and starts her plan, tricking him that she'd be fine to be their companion, and lets the Master start piloting the TARDIS back to Earth in 1916. I nearly said 2016 then. I knew that was wrong. And then we with also Vinda hiding in the bag, where as a stowaway. As they arrive there in 1916, we then see our final Doctor appear back. Not known to the Master at the time, we get Jo Martin as the fugitive Doctor, coming in and being a badass as she is.
Yes, as a hologram. Though this is the one thing I'm confused. If she's a hologram, how is she able to kill the Cybermen?
They shoot themselves.
Yes. She tricked them, didn't she? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like it actually makes me think of the Daleks tricking them to firing themselves when they freeze Gallifrey.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
There's no difference in that. But of course, these are not Cybermen. They are
the Cyber Masters. Yeah.
Which, if you don't remember the timeless children, first off, well done. I envy you for not remembering that episode.
Oh yeah, if you're able to wipe that from your minds. Goodness me, you are so lucky.
Tell me your secret. However, the Master did make this Cyber Masters, which means these are Cybermen.
They can regenerate, exactly, yeah.
So now the Cybermen are on the floor and beginning to regenerate. The hologram instructs Yaz into using the regeneration energy from the Cyber Masters, feeding it back into the machine so that the Doctor can return. And here we get a really interesting look into the Master, because the words they say, or at least a rough approximation, is don't don't let me be the master again. Don't let me become me again. The master doesn't want to return to their who they were.
I cannot believe, and I was saying to this to you, you know, before we did this, I cannot believe I missed that line.
Yeah, it's a beautiful line. I think it's very telling about who the master is.
Yeah,
I think once we've got through the overview of the episode, we might go a little bit in depth into
yeah,
into the characters. But no, I think for fans, they really should look at that line, and that tells you so much about the master and who they are, and that love and hate relationship they have with the doctor.
yes, yeah. With the Doctor, but also themselves, I guess, as well.
Yeah. And let's face it, they love Doctor way more than they love themselves,
Yes.
and that definitely proves it. But no, our Jodie Whittaker finally returns to her form, hopefully not counting as a natural regeneration.
Yeah, otherwise I'd be, help me.
Who knows? Shooting Gatwa might actually be the 17th by this point.
Please, Russell, don't count it, please, for my sanity.
I'm sure he's sitting there going, no promises. And we set to work, and the Doctor then has a plan, but she needs all hands on deck.
Yeah.
After this, we go back to the volcano where Ace has now met up with Graham, who just so happens to be there.
Oh, yes, I was groaning. Oh, why are you back? I thought, well, to be honest, I knew Bradley Walsh had been spotted, but again, I never liked him particularly because I could never just see him for being Bradley Walsh, and I'm not a fan of Bradley Walsh, so seeing Graham back, was a groan from me, I have to say.
Well, it's better than Ryan being back.
Yes, well, a block of wood would be better with Ryan and more personality.
Watch his movie he has on Netflix. The actors are a lot better in that.
Oh, right, it's always fun. They got acting lessons then tossing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Toss him in the bin. Sorry. I just couldn't resist. I know, so that is a dreadful pun, that is.
It's funny because you're really not wrong. I got it. Thanks for throwing me off there.
Yeah, sorry.
And then we get to see an awesome part of fan service where Ace once again goes straight for a Dalek
with the baseball bat, yeah.
Shouting a pepper pot at it.
Oh yeah.
Once again. I know it's cheesy, but to see Ace hit a Dalek with a baseball bat again is perfect for me.
Well, yes, because people may remember, of course, in fact, there's a reference, want to see how I did it in 1963, because, well, funnily enough, for this series' 25th anniversary, I think this was, Remembrance of the Daleks, it was set in 1963. In fact, if you watch that episode, fun fact, you will see that in the shop there's TVs, and you will see that the opening titles and the music of An Unearthly Child can be seen and heard in that. So yeah, just fun fact. Right, back to you.
Yep. And her and Graham set a load of Nitro 999 because it's been 2 decades. It's had 2 more nines added to the Nitro apparently because reasons. They put a load of it on this machine that is causing the volcanoes all over the world to erupt. Which, side note, I know it's Doctor Who, but it's not the lava that's the problem. It's all the smoke that's in the atmosphere now, which is probably going to be choking the world. But never mind, Doctor.
Yeah, that was a bit ridiculous to me. I mean, obviously with Doctor Who, I know you can do anything, but sometimes you've got to draw the line where it's a bit too ridiculous, I think.
It's not the lava. It's the smoke. That's the big thing. Doctor Who. But we Yep, and as Graham and Ace start darting out of there, the Doctor, of course, comes to bring them back.
Yeah.
Into the TARDIS, with a lovely moment of the Doctor going, "Graham, what the hell are you doing here?" Which was very funny.
Yeah, which is basically what we were all thinking. So.
Yeah, again, I see this as Chibnall doing his Tennant thing, where it's meeting all of his characters once again.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, he's been looking at Russell's old scripts. Right, I'll just include that, and I'll just include bits of Moffat, and right, let's just throw this all together. Yep.
Absolutely. And they arrive, and no, before they arrive back on the cyber world, no, I'm not there yet. There we cut back to 2022, where with the cyber invasion, and Tegan trying to pull out a single Ethernet cable, which will somehow start the big explosion. You might want more than one Ethernet cable if you're gonna have it blow up a building. Just saying.
There were so many holes on there. It was a good episode, but
yeah. I mean, the reason I liked it is it felt very in keeping with classic Doctor Who. Oh, one Ethernet cable? I don't know. That's very classic. That's very classic. You'd see that in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And considering it's Tegan, who was a companion in the 80s, it works.
Yes.
I don't know. It just made me laugh. It just made me giggle. And Tegan, even though she's being grabbed by a Cyberman, just manages to pull out the cable before she gets electrocuted by the Cyberman.
Yeah.
Which I imagine wouldn't be pleasant. And the building indeed starts exploding, and her and Kate start darting out of the building as Ashad and all the Cybermen start to get crushed and underneath.
Yes, well, Ashad was electrocuted, wasn't he? I think because Kate was almost converted, and yeah, the
conversion, the electric they're using for the conversion,
it transferred onto him, so started basically frying him, basically.
Yep. He did his famous Doc Brown impression. If he still had hair, it'd be going like that.
Oh, yeah. Great Scott!
And words to that effect.
Yep.
And the whole building begins to crash down, and they just escape as the TARDIS arrives. Tegan walks herself into the TARDIS, because yes, she will, thank you very much.
Oh, yes.
We finally, the Doctor invites Kate Stewart on board the TARDIS.
Oh, yes, because I remember thinking, oh, yeah, because Kate, even though Kate has been in quite a few episodes now, she has never been in the TARDIS, has she? Her father had. I remember in the Three Doctors, which is quite a funny moment, really.
Definitely, and I love. I love the glee that Gemma Redgrave gives when the Doctor says, basically welcomes her aboard. It's like, yay, I finally get to do this.
Yeah, it's funny because you think of Kate as being sort of very serious, isn't it? But underneath all that,
let's face it, she's probably heard about the Doctor from a child. So
from her father's tales, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Probably a childhood dream to finally step aboard the TARDIS.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
and I like the fact that she does. We kind of get the serious Kate Stewart just to be a little bit of a grown-up child for a second, going.
Yes.
Yay.
Well, as Tom Baker once said, there's no point being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes.
Absolutely. And we then return back to the cyber planet in the sky in 1916.
Yes,
Get ready, we're about
it's
to jump about even more in a minute. Um, and the Doctor uses. We then get our tribute, our little homage to Journey's End, with everyone there.
everyone around the
The Doctor
console,
putting their hands on the
exactly.
control
Yeah,
and saying, "You turn that, you turn that."
yeah. I was just thinking of the. I had flashbacks to the scene. No, Jackie actually. No, just no. And
Yeah, that was. We
just
had that moment with Graham.
oh yeah, exactly. And just a fun fact for people before you go on, the TARDIS is actually, and the Doctor I think says this in Journey's End, but it's meant to be piloted by 6 pilots, I believe. Hence the TARDIS console used to be a hexagon shape, which actually makes sense because actually does a hexagon have 6 sides? Oh blimey, maths is not my strongest. So. Never mind, I'm digging myself into a big hole. Anyway, it was meant to be piloted by 6 pilots, so yeah, we get that a lovely moment when I was having flashbacks to that great moment of them all in the TARDIS and smiling at the camera because it did seem like they broke the fourth wall, didn't it, in Journey's End, with all the actors being so delighted to be together in the TARDIS set.
And we definitely got to see that again with everyone's glee at the TARDIS consoles.
Well, I don't know. I
This
thought
time.
they didn't look at the camera this time.
Yeah, touche. Although that being said, I did like the change up this time where instead of everyone just going with it, right? You all know what you're doing? No.
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah.
I don't know. That really makes me laugh. Just like
yes,
because the Doctor says everything so fast. Do I know what I'm doing? No, I don't.
Yes, right. Continue on.
And their plan is to use the power source. And oh god, did I forget to explain what the power source is? Well, the child they nicked from the train at the beginning, it turns out to actually be an alien. It is a now, if I'm getting this wrong, it's a Chibnall alien name. They're all annoying. But I think it's called a Quarrance.
I think so, yeah. I think that's about right, yeah.
If I'm wrong, forgive me in the comments.
Yeah.
It's the best I've got. But they plan to use this power source, the Quarrance, alongside the 2 TARDISes. Yes, the Master's TARDIS is also there.
Yeah.
Because the Master's TARDIS is a Type 75, they can use the more powerful, more modern TARDIS to transfer the energy and use the power of the cyber planet to go to use the 2 TARDISes to get back to 2022 and then fire a conversion beam to turn all the lava into steel. Because Doctor Who.
Yes, strange, yeah.
Because Doctor Who and doing nothing to solve all the ash and the clouds in the sky. Because Doctor Who. And this all works and the day is saved. The Doctor then turns to the Quarrance and says, use your energy and to destroy this planet, then you'll be free. Use your energy and fire it off into the planet to destroy it. But as the Doctor walks away back to her TARDIS, the Master arrives back. Their body is weak, and they're probably very, very close to themselves regenerating.
Yeah, he's been on the booze. He has.
Yeah, definitely. I think something a bit more worse than booze. By the end, he's a little bit out of it. Bless him.
Yeah.
And in a final act of defiance, probably more annoyed at himself for becoming the Master again, I imagine. And in that annoyed state, he turns to the Doctor and says, "If I can't be the Doctor, then neither can you." And redirects the beam coming from the Quarrance, hitting Jodie Whittaker square in the chest.
Yep. And goodness me, it was a good scene, wasn't it? In the slow motion and
Yeah, and Jodie Whittaker goes flying.
absolutely flying. Yes.
And
Not literally. Of course, no actors were harmed in the making of this. I'm sure there was
I don't know about that stunt double. It did look a bit painful. I'm not gonna lie.
well,
Ow.
yeah, being blasted by a laser beam. Yep.
Yeah,
That's gotta hurt.
I think the poor stunt double who was dragged off by wires. I don't think that would have been.
Oh yeah, I would not want to be the stunt doubles because with all those wires. Well, on the other hand, it feels like you're safe, but on the other hand, with the wires, yeah.
I don't think it's the wires. I think it's the landing which looks painful to me because the poor stunt double lands on her shoulder, which, ow.
Oh yeah, exactly. And
I don't know. I wasn't there on the filming, but
yes, and this is the first time that, although the Master's been in several regeneration stories, this is the first time he has actually caused a regeneration.
You could make an argument for the Logopolis because although the Doctor loses their grip, the Doctor is there because of the Master.
Yes, no, it doesn't count to me. He just loses his grip and falls, in my view.
Yeah, let us know down in the comments if you whose side you're on, me or Will, because I
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think. And of course, you could say that the Master left the nuclear bolt running in the radiation, but that was to bring the Time Lords back. That was not to kill the Doctor, even though the Doctor ends up going in. He only goes in there to save Wilfred. But no, I think this is the first time, in my view, that the Master's actually killed the Doctor and forced her to regenerate. Square on, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, either or, I think, is a very good way of looking at it. But yeah, the Master, in fact, now of the top 3 villains in Doctor Who, it's only the Cybermen that haven't killed the Doctor yet. Because,
well, no, because they killed Capaldi's Doctor off. They did.
Oh yeah, they did. I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I don't blame you for losing count because the explosion after could have killed him and being punched by Missy and the Master. He had several injuries, pretty much. That.
Yeah, he got socked square in the jaw by Missy's umbrella.
Yeah, it's amazing he managed to regenerate after having so many. Oh, mind you, well, actually, no, the end of time, the Doctor getting knocked by the security as they're arresting the Master in the helicopter, plus the electricity, and plus the skydiving as well. It's amazing that he managed to regenerate after all that.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, yeah. The only ones from the big villains then, I guess it's the Weeping Angels who haven't done it.
Yeah. So the Master, the blast kills that incarnation. Of course, the Master is never permanently dead, but that incarnation,
he'll
I imagine,
eventually.
That incarnation was already weak anyway, so I would put my money on that having killed that incarnation forced him to regenerate, I imagine.
And we'll see sometime in the future, I guess, if the next one after him is Missy or not. We'll soon see.
Yes, I mean,
they return again.
I don't know about you, but I thought the callbacks to volcanoes, Yaz carrying the Doctor, made me think of the Caves of Androzani and Davison's Doctor carrying Perry.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, again, with what I was saying at the beginning of this, very feeling like a classic Doctor Who ending.
Yeah.
Just not making it through, though, this time.
The Caves of Androzani, that is such a good story. That is one of the best regeneration stories for me,
if not the best. It's up there.
And the regeneration itself, Davison's Doctor said, is this death? He isn't entirely sure that he's going to regenerate. He thinks so, but he isn't even sure, and that's what's so great about that moment. And funnily enough, Tegan, although she left regularly, all his companions Tegan also being part of Jodie's farewell was part of Peter's farewell, and Peter is part of Jodie's farewell. So
the extended fam, as Jodie says when
yes,
in the TARDIS.
I groan at fam. I do. I just, please, Russell, don't use that. Please, even I get. The Doctor, Amy and Rory, even they didn't use it, and they were a literal family. But I just, no, I don't like fam at all, I'm afraid. That really, I groaned. Cheesy. I groaned at saying that, but...
no, it was... and then Jodie wakes up after falling unconscious, wakes up in the TARDIS, and Yaz has dropped off all the other companions.
Yes, I did think it was a shame we didn't get a goodbye from the Doctor saying goodbye to the companions.
I don't think it needed to be said, because let's face it, Tegan and Ace kind of already got their goodbye, and it was with their Doctor. I don't think they needed to go over goodbye again.
Oh, well, yes, because in case they do come back, I suppose, I don't think there was any need. And Kate, there's no point really saying goodbye to Kate, because Russell might decide to bring Jennifer. I bet Kate will be back, won't she?
He better bring Jennifer.
Kate is pretty much like the Brigadier who was round with pretty much every, the first 5. Oh, no, because he was in an audio with McGann as well, wasn't he, I think?
And he was in the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yes. He was still great in the in that episode. Yeah, just didn't lose it. Even though he was an old man and Nick Courtney was perhaps not in the best of health, he still gave such a brilliant performance in that. And
the Brig will always be. One thing I hope Russell does, which Chibs never did, to finally get Kate to become
Brigadier. Yes, because I've always imagined that Kate is going to be promoted to, but I guess maybe they're not maybe Kate wouldn't want to be Brigadier.
I think if you're going to do that and make Kate the Brigadier, I think you'd really have to put a story around it, and Chibnall has had so many different weird, annoying storylines that I don't think
that don't make sense. Oh yeah, if you'd included it in this, that would just be literally chucking something else randomly and.
Absolutely, I think, and in also any of other seasons, like it wouldn't have worked in Flux as well. So I think if you're going to have her become the Brigadier, that's going to be a central part of the story.
Yes.
So, please, Russell, please give her that title finally.
I've got to say, I always pictured Jodie's Doctor when, obviously I didn't know how she was going to regenerate, but I did think she'd go to a bar and talk with Ryan, Graham, and Yaz. I always pictured it, talking with those lot before explaining about regeneration and maybe not seeing them again. But
yeah,
no, that wasn't how it ended up.
Yeah, I mean, she kind of gets to have a conversation with Yaz in a second.
Well, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not long after waking up, the cloister bell, the famous cloister bell rings, and the TARDIS knows what's about to happen. And Yaz and her share a moment.
Yes. Can I just ask you a question? So, Yaz, is this the first time she knows about regeneration, or was there I'm sure there was a scene when Jodie Zott said to Graham, Ryan and Yaz, briefly explained the concept of regeneration.
5 minutes ago, I was a white-haired Scotsman. Yeah, I think, there's been such a big gap between season 12 and 13. I think that some point in the adventures between 12 and 13,
she's explained,
more and more about Time Lords.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Because Yaz clearly knows more.
Yeah, Yaz has seemed to be very intelligent, hasn't she? She's actually seemed to do more because
she's learned a lot from 12 to 13. So I think when Big Finish probably pick up, I imagine that's the timeline they'll use.
Yeah, she was
the gap between 12 and 13.
Yeah, she was pretty. I mean, because Ryan and Graham were there, she was a nobody really, was she? She didn't have much depth really, but she does seem to. Has seemed to definitely become very intelligent and knows what to do a lot with the.
Which is pretty nice to see, considering she's the longest serving companion of the.
Well, yes, because it's. I said this on my Instagram live. So usually, so for example, Billy Piper was with Chris and David Tennant, and Fraser Hines was with Patrick Troughton's whole. Well, for the whole of Jamie's era, but he wasn't. He wasn't with Patrick Troughton since the beginning. But Yaz has literally been through her whole era. Which is that's the first time that has happened, I think.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a great thing, to be honest. I think she should have left, if I'm honest. But, well, yeah.
I liked Yaz. I think more could have been done with her, and I think more.
Yes, I don't think we should have had 3 companions. I don't think, as good as John Bishop is, Dan, it shouldn't have been. As a guest character for one-off, I could get him, but no, I don't think he shouldn't have been cast, really.
I agree. I think Yaz and the Doctor, if it was just meant to be those two, and, a police officer in the police box is a great idea. In fact, it was such a good idea that Big Finish nicked it for a companion for the 4th Doctor. Watch those box sets, it's brilliant. I think it had a lot going for it, and I like what they did with Diaz near the end, even if there was more. But they go on one final little trip before. They share an ice cream on top of the police box overlooking Earth.
Yeah, although it was a beautiful shot, and I do want to point out, I'm not anti-lesbian at all, but I'm just not a fan of any romance at all, really. Especially how so late this was brought up, and it wasn't even. Chibnall seemed to forget about that in this episode. That it didn't touch upon it again.
I think it's definitely touched on, but it is more in the performance that Mandip Gill gives.
Oh, it's right, okay.
Yeah, the way she looks at the Doctor when she's carrying her back.
Yes.
The way she's always trying to keep up with the Doctor and looking her in the eyes. It is more emotional than...
One thing also, I think, one thing I would have changed about that scene, though, is because given the Doctor, I know she's dying, but Tennant's Doctor in his farewell tour, his hand isn't glowing, so I would have not have her hand glowing while eating the ice cream, because that was...
I mean, then again, when I was saying about the stunt person fell on their arm, they got blasted with a laser, so that's going to instantly kill them, yeah. And then if you wanted to look at it from purely what it's telling you, maybe she broke her arm when she landed hard.
Oh, of course, so yeah.
It's glowing yellow because it's healing the broken bones.
Oh, maybe. Of course, yeah, like a very brief reset, I suppose.
Yeah, it's resetting the bones going.
Yeah, like Tennant doing. Although it's so, I've always found this so strange when he just rubs his face and the scars just. Oh dear, the images are just. Oh dear. Yeah, that scene from the end of time when the scars just disappear. And Matt, obviously, when he's old and he's young again. So, I suppose I could get it. It just looks a bit ridiculous to me eating an ice cream while the hand's glowing, but...
Wouldn't it also melt the ice cream faster than you'd eat it? It's kind of like fire.
Well, yeah, exactly. What flavour do you want? Oh, I want fire, please.
Yeah, I'll have mine exclusively melted. Um, and they share a lovely moment.
Yeah. Oh, it
Looking
is.
over Earth.
It is a great moment, isn't it? Like I
And
said, I'm not a romantic person at all. I do not have the slightest interest in romance, but visually, the scene is so brilliant.
they get to the Doctor and Yaz make a lovely agreement. And I do think this is a really nice line as well. That not to say goodbye. This is not goodbye. It's
No,
not ended for them. And
it
I'd
made
like,
me think of River,
yeah,
a data ghost in the name of the Doctor. You know, let's not say goodbye. Okay, well, how do I say it then? Just see you later.
absolutely.
Which yeah, it did make me think back to that scene. One
Yeah.
thing that did baffle me was the Doctor. I need to, do the next bit alone, which made me think. I don't know. It seems out of character to want to regenerate alone. I think.
I would say it doesn't for this Doctor. Because the one thing I've noticed about Jodie is that although she has a fam, cringe if you like, but although she has a fam, she's never, every time they try and be close to her, she pushes them away.
Oh yes, I've noticed that because I watched the scene get off me, Yaz, when she's trying to when they're in the fugitive Doctor's TARDIS, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's she pushes she, as much as she likes the fam, she's not. She is. She very much doesn't like people being too close,
No.
and I think so. Actually, her saying "I need to do this alone," I think actually fits her quite well because she doesn't let people come close.
No.
She doesn't.
Because she can't afford to, because she knows it will break their heart, it will break her hearts, because either they leave her or she regenerates. So she doesn't allow herself to become too close to her, because it's not always going to end well for either of them.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's face it. Even worse. She's gonna, even if Yaz stays with the Doctor, humans with her. As David Tennant's Doctor said, humans, you wither and you die.
Oh
You can't
yes,
sit there and watch
I
that
can
happen.
you can spend the rest of your life with me, but I can't spend the rest of my life with you. I've got to keep living. That's the curse of the Time Lord, and that is a great scene from School Reunion. Tennant and Billy Piper, fantastic.
It is. It's an amazing speech, and I think that very much rings true here.
Yes.
At the end for Jodie, and just before we get our awesome regeneration,
it is a great scene visually, isn't it? Yeah.
Beautiful scene, jaw dropping.
Yeah.
But just before then, we Yaz is left back in, I imagine, Sheffield. They don't actually say that. I don't. The Doctor could have dropped them off anywhere. But I'm gonna guess it's Sheffield.
Sorry. One thing I just want to point out, when Yaz pointed out, did she drop them in the right places? I was thinking back to the Doctor. He accidentally dropped Sarah Jane in? Was it Scotland?
Yep.
I think. Yeah. So I thought that was. I thought. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. Back to you.
And who else appears but Dan and Graham, both together?
Oh yes, as if we couldn't have enough. Bradley Walsh, she's back again.
Although it does lead to a really nice scene where we find out
no, that
Graham,
was a lovely scene. And funnily enough, I don't know about you, but I've always imagined the companions getting together. I mean, Sarah Jane, there's that, her and Joe being friendly and
Joe Jones.
sort of I can't think of any occasions like that, but I've definitely imagined that. And we see a support group which makes sense because, it's great that all the companions... Well, and it's been hinted, and I missed this because, again, my head was just... there was just so much going on that I was thinking of so much. But I think Kate, the idea is to recruit some of them to UNIT. And so we see Bonnie Lamford back as Melanie Bush, which I can't say was too... I do like Bonnie as a person, Mel as a character.
Mel is one of those characters made better by Big Finish.
Yes.
She is actually a computer whiz in Big Finish.
Yes, she doesn't scream, and in fact, I was saying to people on the Instagram Live, although the Sixth Doctor did get a better regeneration from Big Finish, it was a joke that he fell off the exercise bike that caused his regeneration, and but
I mean, what a way to go!
Carrot juice, it's fatal. Don't drink it. Ugh, awful.
And we also get Kate Manning is
oh yes, Jo Jones. Oh, it was so great to see her back because obviously, she can't fail to make you smile. I mean, I got flashbacks to watching the death of the Doctor and thought of Liz Slade, and I thought if she would have been there, Sarah Jane, I think, for a support group.
I mean, again, I think Clyde and Luke and all that would have been in it as well, to be honest. I think it's I think it's a given.
I thought, to be honest, it would have been a good opportunity to have that, or even Maria as well. And
but the big one who appeared here.
Oh yes, William Russell, who is 97, still sounding vocally well and looking pretty well, I have to say.
And playing
Ian Chesterton, yes, who, for those, because of course there's so much going on, so I'll recap. Ian was was the first companions, along with Jacqueline Hills, Barbara Wright, and Caroline Ford. Well, to be honest, I was surprised Susan wasn't there because she was left on Earth, so I thought she would have been there. But never mind. Well, it was great to see William Russell back, looking so well at 97. That's
97,
absolutely amazing.
Sorry, did you say her? Because of course Ian doesn't know about regeneration.
Does he? Oh no, because he's not met in canon. He's not met the other Doctors, has he? I don't think.
Ben and Polly, who saw the first Doctor regeneration.
Yes, exactly. I'm talking of unique worlds. In fact, I did you watch the video I sent you of I sent you that Twitter link. The power of the Doctor. That's what we need. She just Unique, you've not lost it.
Not at all.
Absolutely fantastic. I do recommend you check that out because it's just so great. But I love the support group scene. It was so great, and they have name stickers, so in case viewers didn't know who some of them were, and maybe it's a hint that Russell, or maybe it's a hint that we'll see. I think Yaz, I could see her definitely working for UNIT because with a police background, and I think she'd be
and her knowledge of Time Lord stuff.
Yeah, exactly. The Doctor would only approve of this, but I could see her becoming a soldier. I could.
Basically, another Martha Jones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think I could definitely see Yaz coming back. And I think a few of them.
Amanda Gill has been pleading with Russell to do so hopefully he's listening.
Oh yeah, I mean Jodie, like. Russell, don't say it's too soon. I will be begging him it seems like she's already, which is so fantastic to know that she's enjoyed it so much, because obviously Peter, I don't know, Capaldi's recent interviews, he seems to have lost his love a little bit for Doctor Who.
I think it is just because of how grueling it was in that 10th season. He has been out and open about how exhausted he was physically by the end of Twice Upon a Time, and I think that's why he's not so keen to return. If I'm honest,
Yeah,
I
because
think
he
will.
and
I think
because
he will eventually, but
yeah, because he said, I mean, he said something about the the secrecy, like it was like, who cares if the Cybermen were coming back, and I thought, Peter, you're a fan, you clearly, your love for it has lost it, sadly, which is a shame, but.
no, I think he still enjoys the show. I think like I say, I think if I was on the set and I was absolutely exhausted and the work hours were ridiculous, I
Oh,
think
exactly,
even
and the amount of episodes filmed in it, they must be so long, the filming days.
oh yeah, they pretty much film all through they pretty much film all the way through the year, pretty
Yes,
much.
and it's not just
There's
on camera. They have to learn their lines. They have to get into makeup and costume, and not
conventions.
yeah, and not to mention multiple takes as well. Yeah, often. So by the
Yeah,
end of that,
I think
I
if you've
would be
done that
exhausted.
I think if you've done that for 4 years, you want to distance yourself from the show quite a bit. And I
Yeah,
don't blame
well,
him.
yeah, I suppose I'm disappointed, but yeah, I don't. I can see why
Bear in
also.
mind his age as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ace comforts Yaz, saying the doctor will be okay, and she knows,
Jazz.
yes, she's the doctor, yeah.
She's the
And
doctor,
apparently, I
okay.
was looking up the Easter eggs and references because there were so many. The Blossoms line apparently was something that Dennis Potter, who I think was a playwright,
Mm-hmm.
and an actor, and he was terminally ill or something, and as he was dying, that was one of the things he said. So that's a very interesting line to go on.
Chibnall is also a big. The reason he did that is Chibnall also does write plays, and he is a big time into the theatre.
Okay.
He does a
That
lot
makes sense. Yeah, and
Chibnall does a lot of work in theatre. So.
right. Okay. Right. That makes sense. And yet, the Doctor, for the first time in the new series, doesn't regenerate in the TARDIS. It finally learned the lesson to not blow your ship up.
Yeah, or something along that. Yeah, no, it's she goes to take in one last sunrise.
Yes, in fact, it made me think of the scene. I mean, Davros, let me see the sun.
One last time.
Again, yeah, and yeah. Oh, it was just such a great scene, wasn't it? Her at the cliff edge and just going out. Although she was initially unhappy, and I thought we were going, oh, I hope it's not going to be. I don't want to go again. We've had this so many times. She goes with a smile on her face. She makes peace. She embraces the change, and she just gets on with it.
Finally, finally, it's not tear inducing. It's looking forward.
Exactly, and that's how like Matt Smith's regeneration, Christopher Eccleston's Doctor. Although of course, because his Doctor was so scarred by the Time War, he was definitely more than ready to move on. Pretty much, well, Chris himself, of course, was very ready to move on as well. So yeah, channeled himself, but no, it's nice to see a very. I said to you, I wanted the Doctor to maybe want to regenerate, but then I thought, oh, is that would maybe count as suicide, wouldn't it? I guess that would be.
I suppose you could argue that in this case, she kind of has made peace with it. She kind of embraces the change. She kind of wants the change. So
Yeah.
I suppose you're kind of right. I mean, Time Lord society is so different from how we consider death.
Yes.
It's not the end; it's just another beginning.
Well, although the 10th Doctor felt that way, that even if I change, it feels like I'm some new man goes sauntering away, and I'm dead.
I'm still not a massive fan of that speech as much as it made sense for Tennant.
No, but it made sense for Tennant's Doctor because he was very clingy onto people. He was clingy to himself, and especially that I don't think he would have had that false regeneration happened. Had that not happened, I don't think he would have been that clingy. But because he'd got that second chance, it got to his head a bit, I think. And I think it makes sense.
My handy spare hand.
Oh yes. So no, I think, but yes, it's good to see her. So we see her change and not into Shikuti. Well, see, what I thought would happen is she'd change into Shikuti, and then something would start to go wrong. So we'd see him briefly, and then he would turn into Tennant. But no. Jodie regenerates into David Tennant. Is back, and I had flashbacks, many happy memories, and Smiley of him just going what, and his facial shapes, and it's like he's never been away, really.
No, it isn't at all, and it is now been revealed as of last night and today that David Tennant isn't playing something like the War Doctor or a one-off. He is the 14th Doctor.
Yes, so after 3 specials, and then he'll hand over to Shikuti Christmas 2024. Yes, I nearly said 2025 then, but no. 2024. Yes, because, November 2023, yeah. Hang on, Christmas 20...
December 23. It will be Christmas.
Yes. I dug myself into a big hole that I needed to then, but...
But yeah, no, it's... he will be paving the way over 3 specials as the 14th Doctor, paving the way for Ncuti, who is now announced as the 15th incarnation.
Yes, because it was very clever how in the press release for Ncuti, they didn't announce him as the 14th Doctor, I noticed, didn't they? They just said the next Doctor. They didn't say a number.
No, there was a couple of misleads that were purposely saying Ncuti is the 14th.
Oh, well, Russell's very good at planting those red herrings,
When it came through that Ncuti is the 14th, and then we saw David Tennant doing filming, I already was going...
Well, yeah, I was confused. I thought it was going to be the Meta-Crisis Doctor. Maybe he'd lost Rose and maybe be wanting revenge or something.
The only thing that, it didn't really surprise me. If anything, it just made you go, cool, I was right. Was the fact that Ncuti has done a little bit of filming, as we saw a couple of lines there.
Yes.
But in the trailer, but he doesn't start filming until November.
Well, yes, because he's been busy with Sex Education, the Barbie movie. That's quite a jump of film about.
He's also done a play as well, apparently.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah. He's been so busy that he doesn't start filming until this November, I think. So. Yeah.
So, with the fact that only David Tennant has been seen, he's the only one who's done filming, and Ncuti doesn't start till November. Yeah, my brain just went, it's going to be him by the end, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah.
I was proven right.
Yeah, so we get a very brief glimpse, because if you changed over, there was a trailer. Looks like we got the new logo, I guess, wasn't it? I think at the...
I think it might be a temporary one. I don't think it is.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Oh, yeah, because it looks a little close to the current logo. So, I guess just a plaster to stick on, and then
at the end of the day, their real production doesn't. I know it's technically they've done filming. I don't think the production really starts until November, going into next year. So, I think stuff like the actual logo and stuff like that will be revealed about May time next year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but yeah, no. I'm really excited to see David Tennant back. The fact that he is actually now the 14th Doctor, I think, is such an interesting idea.
It is a very interesting idea, isn't it? Oh, right, I do apologise. You can hear drilling. That's what I think modern dance music is like.
Oh wow, that's hilarious.
Right. Oh. Oops. What did I... Oh, blimey. What happened there? Oh. Okay. Right. Did I accidentally press something? Right. Sorry about that. Did I accidentally press a button? Did I?
Yeah, you ended the call.
Oh, sorry. It's the drilling. It just absorbed all my brain. It's like listening to Christina Aguilera. I just can't concentrate. Just sucks the life out of you.
Do you want to finish the recording?
Oh yes. Sorry.
I've got to go. I can't stay on for too much longer, so I'm just going to wrap up.
Oh yep. Right. So the show will go on. Yes, I'm excited for for what Russell's going to do. Yes, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to Shikuti. I'm gonna watch a few episodes of Sex Education. It might necessarily not be what his doctor's like, but to just get an idea of what his energy is, and I might watch a few episodes of that.
He's done a couple of roles in video games that I have, which gives me a nice idea of his range.
Oh right, okay, yeah. I'm very excited to see him. Very excited to see David Tennant. Catherine Tate, no, not really, admittedly.
But we get to see Wilf for one last time, which is going to be lovely.
They were filming pictures, but whether Bernard managed to complete all his scenes, I'm not sure.
I think Russell did confirm he did.
Oh right, okay. Because as I said on my Instagram Live, Howard Atfield, who played Donna's father, had to leave due to illness, and so Bernard was brought in as Wilf. So I wasn't sure whether Bernard. I know he'd filmed some of it, but I didn't know whether he'd filmed enough.
I'd have to double check, but I do believe, and I'm 90% certain on this.
Yes, and if we do get to see him, then it will be very emotional because for me, being his last ever appearance in anything after a very long career, two as a former as a kids TV nerd, classic kids TV nerd, I'm sure you'll know that Bernard narrated the Wombles. And Jack and Ori, and did such a big part of children's television. So for me, both as a Whovian and a classic kids TV nerd, it will be very emotional to see Bernard do his last scenes as Wilfred, if he managed to do it. And I am looking forward to that, but. Yeah, Catherine, not really, because I find her a bit too mouthy, really.
Although I think this will be a slightly older Donna.
Yes, an older and a bit more wiser Donna. Yeah.
Yeah, and a high chance that there's a high chance, nothing's confirmed obviously, but there's a high chance that she's a mother now as well, which being a mother is probably going to stop her being a little bit as gobby. So I think that will help matters.
Well, I don't know. I think she got it from Sylvia, so it probably passed from her into a daughter, as it's rumoured, I imagine. So
yeah, the Rose Temple Noble.
Yes, I mean that's the yes. Officially, her name has been revealed, Rose. Yes, although we don't. The rumour is she's going to be Donna's daughter. Of course,
we don't know.
We don't know. Which could be interesting because the rumour is that Donna, her mind, she might be able to remember the Doctor without her mind burning up because of her daughter, to ease the burden of the energy, which could be interesting.
Yeah, it is. I'm really interested with Donna because, if she remembers me for more than a second, she will die. Okay, how the hell's a 3 specials gonna work? Okay, I'm intrigued.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We saw glimpses of Neil Patrick Harris as well, looking like he been watching Fred Astaire and Top Hat and Tails. And I don't know if you saw videos of him dancing with David Tennant, which I do hope there's not going to be a musical number. Oh please, in these specials.
I doubt it would be a musical number. There might be dancing, a bit like the Master dancing to Rasputin.
Oh yeah, I just do hope there's not going to be some musical number. I know Neil Patrick Harris because of his musicals background, but yeah, that does slightly make me nervous, I have to say. But
although I'm intrigued, there's a lot of rumor that he's playing the Celestial Toymaker, which would be quite nice.
That's very interesting. Yes, although he'd just be called the Toymaker because apparently Celestial, there's issues with that whole thing. But yes,
the Toymaker would be fun.
Yeah, exactly. And the Toymaker, can do pretty much anything, can't he? Really, his powers. It's so interesting if it is the Toymaker to return after so many years. It's a really interesting choice to bring back.
I mean, there's some people who are saying it's the Master, but
I really hope not. We've just had that. We don't want another version of the Master so soon. The Master is brilliant. I love the Master, but we've had too much of him. He needs to be, given a rest. And then come back refreshed.
But I think to sort of close this off, I think just to, I think what did you think of the Master in this final?
Well, it was funny because I was saying to you by text, that Sasha for me was trying to be John Sim but without the humour, and then see the Rasputin dance and it seems like he's I've sent him my mind, I think, and we did get some humour from him, which was good. So I thought his performance was brilliant as the Master. I do kind of hope it's not the end of his Master, because it would be nice to, in the classics, Auntie Ainley went through Todd Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, and Sylvester McCoy. So it'd be nice for a Master to be with. Although I get John Sim had such great chemistry with David Tennant that he, although he was with Capaldi, I never thought he worked quite as well. And I don't think Michelle Gomez, I'm not sure she'd work so well with Jodie, really.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the Masters are always have to be kind of. I mean, I know what you're saying with Auntie Ainley, but I think in the modern Who, I think what they did get right with the Master is they're always almost an exact match to who the Doctor is.
Yes, exactly.
Young, adventurous, spiky-haired David Tennant. John Sim very much is echoing that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I think Peter Capaldi, Scottish eyebrows and a bit unpredictable. Missy.
Yeah, exactly. They seem to work well together. So Sasha, I don't know whether he'll be back. I mean, I don't know. Time will tell. I mean,
Sim can come back. I'm sure.
I'd feel him and Michelle, if they were to do another multi-master story, him and Michelle would work so well together. Probably better than Gomez and Sim, actually. As good as they were.
Could you imagine Sim and Sasha? Sim and Dewan would be one hell of a combination.
Yeah, although I think they're too similar, though, I'd argue. I don't think it would work so well.
But that could be interesting in the fact that would put two masters up against each other because they are so similar. I
suppose so, yeah. Yeah.
I think I really like this story because I said it a bit earlier, especially in that moment when he's turning back into the Master.
Yes.
That he doesn't want to become the Master again.
I'm going to have to watch it again because I can't believe I missed that line. I mean, yeah.
I think that I love the fact that the Master, in every time he's won, in this case, end of time with the Master Race, he's won. The Doctor's lost by part one.
Yes.
In this case, the halfway through Power of the Doctor's lost.
Yes,
Completely.
the sound of drums lost to the Time Lord, he ages him to nearly complete oblivion, and he's won, but yeah.
And I think what I love about the Master is every single time it's like, oh, I've got rid of the Doctor. I've won.
What do I do now?
Yeah.
He's stuck, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the fact that I still stand by it. When he was put it back into the machine, he could have easily got out. He had the teleporter on him. Remember when he turned back to Rasputin?
Oh, he did. Yeah.
He could have teleported any time.
Yeah.
He let himself become the Master again.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting that this evil villain actually, he kind of wanted the Doctor back. He was still annoyed, so blasted her with a laser.
Yeah, he's complex, isn't he? He's very complex character.
I don't know. I just really enjoyed how not only was this such a story about the Doctor, but it was a story about the Master as well.
It was, yeah. More than any other of their appearances, I think.
I would say, yeah, the only other one that comes as close is the Doctor Falls in dissecting who the Master is.
Yes,
I think.
Yeah.
Please, Russell, if you bring him back in about 3 series time, keep it up.
Yeah. I hope Jodie doesn't feel that she's failed and, there's not another female Doctor, because Martin showed that she was so fantastic. There was someone like, if we were to have a female Doctor, someone like Gillian Anderson, although maybe she might be a bit old, I guess, now. But
Capaldi came back. Yeah, Capaldi was the Doctor. He was not a spring chicken.
Well, yeah, that is true. I mean, she, John English Reborn, even though it's a spoof, she is so brilliant as Pegasus. And she's, I've never watched much of the X-Files. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but have you watched the X-Files?
A bit like you, bits and pieces. No, I think she would be a good choice. I do still stand by what I said when Shooty got announced. Don't get me wrong, I'm really happy for him, and he seems like an excellent actor.
Oh yes, yeah.
Just the right age, in the sense that he's done a little bit with Netflix, but he's not really a known actor, and we're getting.
Well, I don't know. Sex Education is a big internationally. Around the world.
Apparently he's quite a small role in that outside of this last season.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Right.
So I think we're really hitting Shooty while he's in his stride.
Yeah,
we could have something like Matt Smith here. We could have
exactly. Because Matt Smith, even though he'd done work, I hadn't heard of Matt Smith before Doctor Who.
Yeah.
My dad, he hadn't heard of him. My mum, lots of people didn't know who he was. So Shakuti, hopefully, and I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but he could be.
I think the role does the pressure enough.
Well, exactly. The Doctor, it's a great role, but there is a lot of pressure.
It's like playing Luke Skywalker. It's like, oh, crikey.
Yeah, exactly.
It is very much akin. But the one thing I do say is, as much as I am looking forward to Shooty, I really am. I am still a bit sad that Russell didn't choose a female Doctor or didn't persuade Jodie to do the 3 specials.
Yes.
Because I do think that, as much as Chibnall hit it out of the park with this last episode,
his era's not been good, has it? Even from I thought the first episode was not great.
I thought the first episode had promise. The Ghost Monument started the Oh Dear train, and the Oh Dear train has just gone to oh crap.
Oh yeah, and especially it takes you away all for title and the frog. In fact, I remember doing the review of Series 11 with you back in 2018, and you heard me. I was absolutely furious. I thought I was gonna explode with anger because I was really, really angry.
I don't have really any words outside of what everyone knows for Chibnall's era. But like I say, he kicked it out the ballpark for this last one. But I would have just loved for her era for Russell to take her for those final stories, because to have some genuinely good writing with a really talented actress like Jodie
Jodie, I saw her in Trust Me when she was playing an actual health doctor. I saw it when I was on holiday in Anglesey, and I thought, well, I think she could be a really good doctor. She's showing, okay, I'm not seeing much comedy stuff, so maybe she might not be able to do the, but at least the dramatic stuff, I think there's potential here. There's potential. And unfortunately, due to Chibnall's writing, it really hasn't been good.
And considering, but then when Jodie went, I was hoping that Russell would try another female doctor, because as you just said, I really hope people don't look back at this era as the female doctor failed,
because it's not Jodie's fault. It's Chibnall, the writing, really.
Jodie did not fail.
No, she didn't fail at all.
She's one of the best we've ever had. I actually put her at second place in my favorite doctors.
Yes, Jodie, and she's such a good ambassador. She has absolutely loved it. The friendship, seeing how her and Mandip so close, and even with Bradley and tossing, even though I still stand a block of wood is better acting. They are generally so close, and Chris Chibnall, even the behind the scenes featurette I saw, Jodie said it was like a family. The crew were like a family, and that's wonderful to see.
It really is. I just wish, we are going back to a male doctor once again. I just don't want people looking back at sort of a failed attempt, because it didn't fail.
No,
the writing failed, but the actor didn't. And I do hope that I know she won't be returning for the 60th. It's far too soon, but I do hope she does return at some point in the future.
See, I think she will be in the 60th, because the regeneration is a blotched one. I think she'll be back to. I could see David turning temporarily back to her to reset it, and then her properly regenerate it. Oh no, because Shakuti's in Tennant's clothes.
Yep, and Shuti is the 15th.
Okay. That rules that out then. Yeah, never mind. But
I think that I think Jodie will return, but I don't think it will. It just seems too soon. And for an actor, when you've done a role like this, you want to separate yourself away from it.
Mind you, Matt Smith appeared in... Oh, well, to be fair, that was filmed during the time of the Doctor, though, that whole secret, his end of the phone call scene.
Yeah. Pretty much Deep Breath started production not long after Time of the Doctor finished.
Deep Breath was a dreadful episode, I thought.
That was something. No, I think. I think it's been a turbulent era, but I think they really stuck the landing at the end. So.
At least he went out. At least he. I think Chibnall has. Well, has he redeemed himself with this episode?
No, I don't think he's redeemed himself.
No, because there's still.
He had one last hurrah. I don't think he redeemed himself.
Yeah, exactly, because he seemed to forget. How many times did we say in the episode review he'd forgotten what he'd written? Does he not keep the script so they straight in the shredder? Because
I do think part of it is, I know it's sad to say, because I hate any writer who has to admit this to themselves, but I think there's a degree of giving up.
Yeah, he does. He does seem
my
like
idea didn't work. My idea didn't work.
Yeah, right. I'm going.
Look,
I'm going.
we've got some classic. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
just get it done out of the way so I can leave, close the door, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Because let's face it, he had a 5-year plan, and although he's done 5 years, that's not 5 seasons.
Well, no. And to be fair, COVID has obviously changed. I mean, they filmed this in 2021, I think.
Although it's not been confirmed, I think with what's come out as well about the behind the scenes of Chibnall's era, it does seem as well that the BBC did kind of
give up on especially promotion as well. I mean, there was hardly people and I agreed with them. We didn't get the date, the title of this for 2 weeks before, just 2 weeks, not months. If you think of Twice Upon a Time, I remember watching that trailer in July 2017. And if you think it aired in December 2017, but this, we got it 2 weeks before, and that makes you think they've given up, haven't they? They're waiting for Russell. I mean, Russell is so much better as publicity than Chibnall has in his entire time, because I saw this on a forum, and I'm sure you'll agree that keeping secrets, it's good to keep secrets, but to do it to the point of hardly no one knowing that it's going to even be on, you kind of defeated the purpose of keeping all those spoilers. Absolutely. No promotion is not gonna help you. You need to get the balance between. Well, I don't mind spoilers, but you need to get the balance between getting a little bit of revealing a bit, and then
I'm under closed doors right now, so I can't talk about too much of anything really. But I am working on a little production myself, and marketing it's so key. And to see someone who's so high up in like the BBC failing to market when even though I'm doing something very amateur, the marketing's everything.
Exactly. Yes, especially in the era of social media, and it's marketing is key. Even I'm not a financial person, but I know that you've got
every person who lays eyes on just a poster is eyes on something that it will watch it now.
Yes, and they might get the magazine that might start watching the show, which leaves them to getting the magazine, which leaves them to getting the action figures and starting the chain, if you like.
Yeah, and just one more viewer than you didn't have before.
It's good. Most people, although to be fair, TV has changed so much than it was back in 2005. But yes, even one more viewer than you had before is still good.
Yeah, it means millions to the people making it, even if you've got one more viewer than you used to.
Yeah.
It's a massive thing, and it's not easy. But to see them give up so hard near the end is
it's real shame. I think they let Jodie down, didn't they? And Chibnall. I think the marketing team have to share responsibility for ruining it for them. I think.
Yeah. But I think also, like I say, part of that does come from the BBC. Like after Series 12, it's so clear that.
Well, I thought not even Series 12. I thought after Series 11 was the only one they went all out for promotion. But Series 12.
But yeah, I was going to say like Series 12. I don't think Chibnall's fired, or at least that's not been made official. But I think he was 5-year plan
mutually
was
agreed to. Parting of the ways, yeah.
Yeah, I think Timeless Children kind of hit the nail in his coffin.
I think.
And I think because of that, and because
of the reaction and the division with that storyline, which he shouldn't have done, or at least should have closed the book on that. But the fact he didn't even mention, he did all that, and then to not mention any of it.
I think, though, to a degree, that was wise for this story. I think if they brought the Timeless Child into this story, I think it would have damaged it. And
potentially it would have caused more division, because given the Timeless Child is so toxic, a lot of it, to go over it again would make the problem even worse.
I, for one, can't blame him for making that choice of going...
No.
Out. I can't blame him for that.
No.
I think... I think it was a fitting fend-off... a fitting send-off for Jodie, and I think as much as I wish she was continuing on...
onwards and upwards to a new era, and unfortunately this era will be just known as a little dod, just a little
the turbulent
dodgy.
Years. The turbulent years, I would call it.
Yeah, exactly. Just the turbulent years, and then hopefully we'll be back to all strength with Russell and
with Russell T Davies and his new idea, which is apparently inspired by the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm intrigued what that even means. I don't know.
Yes, I know. Yes, but, and I'll be here, of course, to bring you the reviews, of course, for the specials, of course, in November 2023. But there's so much more to come from the TubeMix YouTube channel. And, I want to say thank you to you, Ben. It's been absolutely great. And, we must do this more often. Obviously, I know due to other commitments, you're a busy guy, but it's just been fantastic. It really has. And
who knows? Maybe sometime in the spring we might be doing a special video together. Who knows?
Absolutely. Yeah, more on that as we get it. Yeah. Yes. So thank you all for watching. The next video I think will be Andrew Gold's Halloween album of TubeMix's album reviews. Because it's Halloween coming, so lots of other stuff to look forward to. So I really look forward to that, and I'll see you next time. And if you want to, feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the TubeMix YouTube channel. You can follow me on TikTok at WillMix20, WillRadford.5678 on Instagram, and Twitter, Will Radford 9 as well. So I'm everywhere. You can't get rid of me. Right, thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Goodbye.